Hello, I'm Chris from TechSpert, and today I'm going to be banging on at length about the Sennheiser Accentum Wireless headphones. Now, these mid-range cans are a step down from the Momentum 4 flagship wireless headphones, but they still pack some pretty premium features, including a nice bit of Hybrid ANC and up to 50 hours of advertised battery life, all for just €179, probably about the same in puns. Now, the Sennheiser Accentum Wireless should be hitting UK stores around December time. I've been rocking them for a couple of weeks, testing them out, so here's my full review. And for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now, let's start with the design and fairly straightforward stuff from Sennheiser here. You know exactly what to expect if you've seen some Sennheiser cans or indeed a pair of headphones at some point in your life. Quite slick, smart, straightforward design. You can grab the Accentums in either black or white. The fit is definitely on the firm side, but it seems to have loosened up a wee bit in the past fortnight as I've been using them. Got plenty of cushioning on the insides of that headband. It's coated in silicone. Plenty of cushioning on the cups themselves as well. I found that they didn't press on my earlobes or anything like that. So overall, I found them very comfortable to rock on my bonds for several hours at a time. And as you can see there, the cups fully rotate 180 degrees, so again, comfortable to wear around your neck. You're trying not to smack the microphone and f up the audio. So yeah, nice and comfy to wear around the old neck like so, but unfortunately they don't fold up flat for easy storage. They do take up a bit of space in the old backpack. Cover the controls in a sec, but it is worth pointing out there's no analog connectivity support here, so it is Bluetooth wireless streaming all the way. I found that connecting to my Android smartphone was quick and easy, and if you download Sennheiser's Smart Control app, which I highly recommend, you've then got further customization. Now, this has got pretty much all the features you would expect, so you can quickly and easily check on the remaining battery life. You can also see what devices you're connected to at the moment, up to 2 at a time. You can manage those connections right here in the app, which is pretty bloody helpful. You got an equalizer, you got a sound check feature, you can swap between active noise cancellation and the transparency mode, and also play around with a handful of different features. The button situation is pretty straightforward here on the Sennheiser Accentum wireless headphones in that there's only 4 of them. You got the power on, you got pause play, and then you got a volume up and a volume down. However, these buttons are multi-purpose as well. They can do different things based on, for instance, if you long press them or double tap. So a double tap of the play pause button will skip you a track. I found the button placement was okay, even though they are definitely on the compact side, and the buttons do feel quite cheap and plasticky, but they function exactly as expected, so no real complaints. Now, every time I slipped on the Sennheiser Accentums, I found the firm fit and also those nice padded ear cups did a really good job of isolating me from the rest of the bloody world. Certainly a great way of getting a nice bit of peace, but then on top of that, you've also got that active noise cancellation built in. And I found that this was pleasingly effective. You can still hear conversations and announcements and stuff that are going on, but it certainly really cuts down on traffic sounds, train sounds, plane sounds, all that kind of low background murmur that's really irritating. So I found that even on a tube or a plane or whatever, I could comfortably listen to a podcast or an audiobook without having to crank that volume all the way up to ear-busting levels. It is worth pointing out, however, that there's no way of actually knocking the active noise cancellation off. You can only swap between that and the transparency mode, but the transparency mode, at least that's there, very helpful if people are constantly interrupting your podcast, your music or whatever to, chat at you. And naturally, you don't have to piddle around pulling out your phone and going into the app to turn on the transparency mode. All it takes is a quick double push of that power button and you're straight into it. Just remember, if you are out and about and it's a bit blustery, to tap your way into the ANC section of that Smart Control app and check that wind noise reduction is on. You'll know if it's not because everything will sound bloody awful. But thankfully that cuts out all the horrible noise, makes everything enjoyable again. And Sennheiser has fine-tuned the audio here on the Accentum Wireless. You've got that signature sound, and even though you've got smaller drivers here compared with the more expensive Momentums, there are 17mm drivers here, I really enjoyed the audio that they spaffed into my ear holes. I found that straight out of the box, that sound was just nicely balanced, not too bass heavy at all, that's for sure. So if you're not a big fan of bass, well, no worries there. And you've got that aptX HD support as well, so as long as your phone isn't a piece of crap, then you'll enjoy really nice, rich, finely detailed audio. Of course, if you do class yourself as an audiophile, you probably will want to spend a little bit more money on something like Momentum with more full-bodied audio, so you can really pick out every individual instrument, every teeny little thing that's going on in every single track. But everyone else should be more than satisfied. And you can tweak the audio settings yourself as well, just by diving into the equalizer settings in that Sennheiser app. If you do want to emphasize the lows, you've got that bass boost feature. You've also got a nifty podcast feature, which really helps to highlight vocals, makes them sound really nice and warm and cozy. particularly good for podcasts and audiobooks. And the Sennheiser app does include a sound check feature as well, which is supposed to help you tailor the sound to your own particular listening preferences. The idea is that you play one of your favourite tracks through the Sennheiser Accentums, and then you cycle between these three options, A, B and C, and try and work out which one sounds best to you. The soundscape is ever so slightly adjusted between each one. Unfortunately, I found that the differences were far too subtle at times. They basically all sounded the same to me, so this feature wasn't particularly helpful. If your hearing is less crap, then you might enjoy it. And here on the Sennheiser Accentums, you've got a dual mic setup, which means that your voice is clearly picked up if you are taking a call with them. Of course, I'm just sat here in my quiet studio at the moment, but if we get lots of background noise on the go. So now I'm replicating some very loud city sounds in a massive speaker right by my head, and as you can hear, the Accentums are still clearly picking up on my voice. So let's finish this Sennheiser Accentum review with a squint at the battery life. And Sennheiser reckons you'll get up to 50 hours of use on a single charge of these bad boys, which would be pretty bloody impressive. Well, certainly I charged them up last week before I headed off to Berlin on a work trip. I've been using them for 5 days solid now. I've still got 30% battery life, so if you are going away on lots of short trips and stuff, at least you don't have to worry about charging these things up on the go. And while I haven't been keeping exact tabs on exactly how many hours I've been using these headphones versus the percentage drain and such forths, I don't think they're going to last for a full 50 hours, certainly not on this cycle, but maybe it'll take a couple more recharges and then they'll settle in a bit more and get you closer to that 50-hour mark. And then when they do need to be juiced up again, just plug the Sennheiser Accentums in. It's Type-C USB, nice and simple, so the same as your smartphone, even if you've got an iPhone these days, hooray! You've got fast charging support here, so you'll get a few hours of use from just 10-15 minutes at the plug, otherwise it'll take a couple of hours to fill them up. So that right there in a nutshell is the fresh new Sennheiser Accentum Wireless headphones, and I really like them for this sort of price point. They offer some good premium features, some pretty smart, simple design. That noise cancellation is excellent, the performance is good, and the battery life pretty damn solid. So let us know what you reckon down in the comments below. Please do poke, subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech, and have yourselves a really wonderful rest of the week. Cheers everyone, love you.